Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the show. Here today to discuss about the NXT June 8th episode for 2021. The Go Home Show going into NXT in your house takeover event for June 13th. My thoughts on the final show, the Go Home Show. I think it was a decent go-home show. It had a very nice last-minute impression on me and how I felt about the pay-per-view. I loved the stipulation match they added towards the, the fucking LA Knight and Cameron Grimes match in a ladder match for the the $1 million championship. I thought that was actually a unique concept, bringing in a new title, bringing back the old title, and as a way of saying that they're continuing on with the $1 million legacy and so forth. So I thought that was a nice way of upgrading this matchup for those two, making it more of a legit pay-per-view type of match, because what they had built up with it is going to, help out this matchup overall and make it a more fun and enjoyable thing as part of the takeover card. Something that the reason why I had a moment of pause here in the video is I just read a headline that blew me away. It says Triple H believes wrestling fans often ruin their own stuff. My God, let me just take a look at this. This is off of Wrestling Incorporated. I just want to read some of this to you guys. This really blows me away. Ahead of NXT TakeOver in your house, Paul Levesque was part of a media call where he discussed the current state and future of NXT. Triple H was asked about the lack of movement within the NXT roster to other brands, and while discussing it, he critiqued wrestling fans. It's a funny thing to me sometimes that in our business, everybody is so worried about where people are going to go or land, or how is this going to play out long term in the future. How about watch it? Triple H stated. Do you like it or do you not like it? Do you have to say, I like it, but I like the other thing more, or I like it, but I don't like it as much as I like that one? Just watch it or don't, and stop trying to figure out where everything goes. Triple H noted that fans often ruin their own stuff by overanalyzing the product. This is the full-on quote that Triple H says. The fans ruin their own stuff half of the time trying to figure out where everything goes and why it goes there and how, and then trying to pick up their phone and go search for a thing to find out what it is that can ruin it for them, so they're not surprised when it happens. I don't understand that. I'm thrilling with what the brand is. I'm happy where it is. How can you be happy where it is? It used to be so great. Now it's just so fucking boring. I mean, I know I'm talking positive about this episode that just took place on June 8th, but my God, his show has not been as good as it once was. Do I want it to get better? Yes. Do I want it to grow? Yes. Do I want it to expand? Yes. But again, people will take this line, use it out of context. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm not here to make a brand that's around for a few years or a few minutes. I want it to be long-term, and how it's going to be long-term. It's going to morph and evolve. It shouldn't be the same. If it's the same 3 years from now or 4 years from now as it is right now, we made a mistake. It's just people, just like people, you grow. If you're the same person for 4 years from now, you didn't grow. And that was pretty much that. My thoughts on that, I don't know. I really don't know what to say on that. It's like he thinks that we're just trying to purposely, ruin what we're watching and so forth. And what he's not understanding is we are trying to get in the mindset of how to book a good show. Some of us are really good at it, and some of us are very terrible. And I'm talking about the people that come on YouTube and come out with these outrageous thoughts that are fucking god-awful. Now, I can understand from his aspect of what he was trying to say. He feels that maybe NXT needs to evolve, change, become different than it was 3-4 years ago. But the way it's changed and evolved, it's not the same or as good or better than it was back 3-4 years ago. The changing of the look of NXT, I don't understand. It just, to me, doesn't seem like the same NXT I've gotten to enjoy. So I'm not quite sure the way he put it out there, and I don't think he really meant it this way, but the way it sounded to me is like, you're just telling us to enjoy it for what it is, and if we don't like it, just don't watch. I mean, come on, man. We're fans. We're supposed to want to see it get better, and we're trying to give our insight and our feelings on it. This is no different than, like somebody being a fan of a football team and saying their opinions maybe online about what players they think they ought to go ahead and go after in free agency or trade for or go after in the draft out of college. That's not, ruining, a company or a team, whatever way you want to look at it. It's just them being a fan and wanting to say their opinion. Everybody's got one. There is really, to be honest with you, no right or wrong way of doing this product, outside of a few major things that you should never go ahead and do. Sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call come through on my phone, so I had to answer it. I apologize about that. Anyway, back to what we were saying. There's just certain things you should never do with a wrestling company. But, I mean, like, for example, there's a lot of people that are getting pissed off about the idea of Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio for the Universal Championship, okay? I'm one of the people that said they probably are going to do that based on what happened. I mean, you had Rey Mysterio's son get his ass kicked. Literally get his ass kicked. He got destroyed. How can you not book the match between Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio? That's his son. Why wouldn't he defend his own son? Now, I mean, you could make it a non-title match. You don't have to make it a Universal Championship inside the Hell in a Cell. I mean, you could do that. But it's kind of stupid to put the Universal Championship on hold just because Rey Mysterio's not in the title hunt. I mean, what better way of getting even with Roman Reigns than beating him inside the Hell in a Cell and also taking away his title and getting even with what he did to his son? That's a great thing. But I would not dare have Roman Reigns lose the championship to Rey Mysterio. That would be a terrible, terrible decision. You don't do that because Roman Reigns is on a hot streak. Rey Mysterio is an old dude. He doesn't need a world championship run again. He's had plenty of those, and not too many of them been successful outside of the first run he had with the world championship, and even that was considered to be, by most wrestling critics, to not be all that great of a run either. My personal opinion, I thought it was a decent run. I actually enjoyed his run as world heavyweight champion. He didn't get too many good title defenses. I mean, he faced JBL, he faced Booker T, he faced Sabu. but nothing really stood out with him as world champion. I think that's the major critique on why his reign was terrible. So I can get behind the opinion of that. But without a further ado, since I've been talking so much on creative stuff and just, overall opinions on what Triple H had to say in that article I saw, let's get into the very first match of this episode. We had Austin Theory versus Oni Lorcan. This was a good match, not bad opener. And Austin Theory won this matchup, I believe. No, it was Oni Lorcan. I apologize. Holy shit. I watched this 2 days ago. Not 2 days ago. I watched it yesterday. Sorry. I watched this yesterday and didn't quite remember everything that took place, so I apologize. But Lorcan actually drops Theory on his head in the middle of the ring for a pin to get the win, and that's basically it. Match overall was decent. These two guys did a good job working together. I mean, Oni Lorcan is a decent technician wrestler, but I mean, he's bland. His character is not all that entertaining. A lot like Timothy Thatcher. I think that's one of the main reasons why they got him tied up with Tommaso Ciampa, to give him some kind of like intrigue by the fans to keep him on television, so that people have some kind of reason to want to watch him because he's tied with Tommaso Ciampa. So I think that's probably the main reason why they're doing that. So we go see Gargano and Dunn being kept apart on stage because they're arguing and attacking each other during the matchup. And Gargano hits the ring to check on Theory, and Lorcan stands with Dunn on the stage at that point. Barrett sends us to LA Knight in his nearby mansion, singing the $1 Million theme song in the shower, looking really nice. Has two gorgeous women with him and everything. He's sitting in a hot tub telling some cheesy jokes, and they're sitting there laughing. He tells them when to laugh and when to not laugh and whatever. Really just fucking crazy shit. Then he has not a Rolls Royce, that was Cameron Grimes, Mercedes-Benz that he drives off in, and we go to commercial break. So it was a very nice little vignette of LA Knight. His home was nice. I don't know if that's really his legit home or that's just something they used for that video. So we actually get Michael Hayes, formerly known as Doc Hendricks, delivering a promo for Sunday's Takeover in Your House event. Nothing special there, just going over the list of matches that took place, and that's it. I mean, Michael Hayes is not bad as an on-screen backstage interviewer. I always liked him doing that. I thought he was kind of entertaining to listen to when he talked. I also think he did like Shotgun, Saturday Night Shotgun, if you guys remember that back in the day. And he was actually a commentator in the commentating booth. So I'm not sure if that was something he did, but I do believe he did that for a while. I think he also did Superstars when it was on Saturday. I think they had Saturday WWE Superstars on Saturday morning or some shit. From what I remember, it was when I was a little child. I was like 6 or 7 years old. And I think they had Michael Hayes there as well. Leave a comment down below if I'm incorrect or not about that. If I am, I apologize. I just thought maybe he did do that commentary for those two type of shows. But he wasn't bad as a commentator. I don't think so. I don't think he was that bad. So, from there, we go back to the ring, and we got Legado del Fantasma out, and Santos Escobar, Raul Mendoza, and Joaquin Wilde are all in the ring. Escobar takes the mic and says he's going to make the NXT North American Champion Bronson Reed pay for what he did to Escobar and his partners last week. This eventually leads to Bronson Reed coming out, re-showing the footage on all the different screens in the arena of him squashing Santos Escobar into the plexiglass / barricade over and over again. Very annoying shit. I don't know. Very childish, actually. I didn't particularly like this so much with them re-showing the same thing over and over again. He says, Escobar says, I'm sick and tired of your crap. I want to kick your ass, that kind of stuff. And that leads to Bronson Reed to get inside the ring. He says, okay, you want to fight? Let's fight. And he's got a 3-on-1 situation. So MSK shows up. This eventually led to an idea of the NXT North American Championship and the tag team titles to both be on the line in a 6-man tag team match. They've done a 6-man tag team match already, which led to Legado del Fantasma to win the matchup. So, in that case, I don't know if that means that we are going to see the title change, but I don't think we're going to see any titles change at all. I think both the NXT and North American Championship and the tag titles will stay with Bronson Reed and MSK, hands down. I don't think titles are going to change that quickly, especially for the North American Championship. And that's basically it. Later on, though, they all do an attack job on each other. They have a beatdown after the promo's over, and we get chaos throughout the entire segment after that. Later on in the show, it's confirmed that a 6-man tag team match for the North American Championship and the tag team titles are both on the line in a 6-man tag team match by William Regal. So there you go. Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Killian Dane. Isaiah Swerve Scott gets the win here. He continues to keep his momentum going. And at this point, I could imagine Bronson Reed versus Isaiah Swerve Scott facing each other over the North American Championship. I would even go as far as saying that Isaiah will win the North American Championship at the next TakeOver event. Which probably would be during the SummerSlam weekend or some shit like that. So, if you guys don't agree, let me know. Let me know who you guys think Bronson Reed will lose the North American Championship to. Because I think Isaiah Swerve Scott has got the best momentum out of the mid-card than anybody else. I mean, I would say Santos Escobar right now, but here's the problem with that. You just gave the title to Bronson Reed. We don't need the title to be flip-flop back and forth like crazy. Give Bronson Reed some time to actually enjoy his reign as champion, because I think by like SummerSlam, or if you want to push it back to like during the fall for a fall takeover event, I would be okay with that as well. So I'm not saying that Bronson Reed needs to lose the title right away, but I think the guy that needs to take it from him is Isaiah Swerve Scott. Bottom line, that's how I feel about it. The guy has been doing outstanding work. He does great promo work. He has a legit record company type gimmick, Hit Row. I mean, it's good stuff. It displays the black culture, all that stuff. It's good. It's good, promotion of black culture and everything else. Not to mention, he's very good in the ring. He's got I think he has a very intelligent mind. And I think the two guys that they added with him are very good as well. So I could see them definitely getting the North American Championship eventually for Scott. But the other two guys, I forgot their names. I apologize for that. I'm not too familiar with them yet. But I will admit this. His two buddies that are part of his group now, they definitely could be the next tag team champions, possibly. I mean, you could give MSK a nice long title run throughout the remainder of this year. Give those two other guys from Hit Row an opportunity to start building up and racking up wins in tag team wrestling. And then by like January of next year, I give them the titles right then and there. I give them the tag team titles because they are very good in the ring as well. I have no problem with those two guys. They're very talented and very entertaining. And they're big dudes too. I mean, they ain't no small little midgets like MSK. MSK is great in the ring. They move very quickly. They have a lot of speed. They can make the momentum of a match really quick pace and so forth, which is good stuff. But when you got a big brute guy like one of the dudes that are a part of it, they remind me of Crime Time, truthfully, but in a more laid-back, tough attitude kind of way. Crime Time was more flamboyant, in your face, hyper, not like hyper like the Street Profits type of shit, but you get my point. They were all cool and glitz and glamour sort of thing, not too heavily, but you get my point. They have a different style, but they kind of seem similar like Crime Time in my opinion. That's all. So that's really all I got to say on that. Like I said, Isaiah Swerve Scott gets the win over Killian Dane. How would you expect him not to? Killian Dane getting a win over Isaiah Swerve Scott? That's fucking crazy. All right, so we see a video of Poppy. Oh, God. Really? How does not Vince McMahon, Triple H, because I know Triple H gets the... I do believe Triple H does have say what's going on in the NXT brand at least. And I don't know why he thinks Poppy is a great musician. I don't think her music is at all good. I think it sucks. Bottom line. I'm not impressed with it. But it is what it is. And WWE NXT has a lot of her, not her albums, but her songs, her singles, that they are allowed to use that they paid for to have. So, Mackenzie Mitchell is backstage with NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Candice is tired of the attention of Poppy getting over on them. Indy heard Dexter Lumis put on her headphones last week, and she thinks he might still love her. Indy runs off and to find Lumis. Candice is annoyed and says Indy and Lumis were never a thing to begin with. Candice walks off, and we go to a commercial break at that point. Back from the break, we see Cameron Grimes pretty much doing a very similar vignette, going over why he should be chosen by Ted DiBiase, and blah, blah, blah. He rolls off in a Rolls Royce, which later on in the show, they both enter into the arena, and I couldn't believe what LA Knight said. He said, "Why don't you take that piece of garbage somewhere else?" And Cameron Grimes screams at him and goes, "A piece of garbage? This thing's a Rolls Royce. What are you talking about?" And I'm saying, I knew exactly that was a Rolls Royce. So I'm saying, a piece of garbage? That's worth almost $200,000. It's a car. It's not a house. And it's worth that fucking much. You want to say that's a piece of garbage? That Mercedes-Benz, yeah, it's a great car, but I guarantee ain't no $200,000 or more. Holy shit. I was like, what are you fucking talking about? Rolls-Royce is one of the hardest things to fucking get in the world. You gotta have fucking serious cash on you to be able to buy a fucking car like that. What a dipshit. That was the dumbest fucking comment I ever heard LA Knight say in any of his promos. But I guess he had to say something like that to insult the guy. He couldn't say, well, that's a nice car. So, I mean, I understand that, but to say it's a piece of garbage. I mean, you could say, no, Rolls Royce isn't a piece of garbage. You're the piece of garbage because you're the one driving it. That's why I'm calling it a piece of garbage. I'm kind of over-exaggerating here and I'm not over-exaggerating. I'm over-analyzing, excuse me. I understand I'm overanalyzing this, but my God, man, you can't compare a Rolls Royce to you can't compare a Mercedes Benz to a Rolls Royce, okay? Rolls Royce is one of the best cars in the world. I mean, they're hard to fucking come by. I mean, you have to have money to get one of those. So, I mean, to say it's a piece of garbage is crazy. But, and I'll also admit this too. The promo between Cameron Grimes and LA Knight with Ted DiBiase in the middle of the ring, Cameron Grimes kicked LA Knight's ass. I was actually surprised by this. Cameron Grimes showed a lot more attitude, a lot more intensity. He showed a lot more emotion. And LA Knight was cutting a very generic LA Knight promo. You know, it wasn't no heavy emotions behind it. It was just, I'm going to come in here, kick your ass, climb ring by ring, and grab the championship and walk away the $1 million champion. I mean, that's what he said he's going to do. Okay, great. Cameron Grimes put a whole lot of emotion in it. It was good shit. And when he climbed up to the ladder, he went ahead and he says, you know, Ted DiBiase, I want to reach up for something, but what am I reaching for? You got me climbing up a ladder for this match, but yet what am I going to be reaching for? I just thought that was good shit. That was really good shit. Then he climbs back down the ladder, and Ted DiBiase shows off the $1 million championship, and he says, this is what you guys are competing over. You're competing for the $1 million championship to live on the $1 million legacy. I thought that was cool. Would I prefer Ted DiBiase actually being a manager to one of these guys, whoever wins it? Absolutely. They took my idea, though, with the Adam Cole-O'Reilly match in a ladder match for a contract to earn the shot for the world championship. But, I mean, still, they made it a legit reason to want to watch this match now. I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here, because I think that's a few segments ahead than where I'm at. But, still, I thought that was a really good idea in what they did to fix what I thought was wrong. They put in a stipulation to make that match fucking better. To actually say it belongs on the fucking TakeOver show. So that was the one major thing that stuck out to me that was really good. Mercedes Martinez faced Cameron Clay. She ends up winning the match with an air raid crash. Nothing major there. Then we had an interview with Martinez. Then we have an interview with Mackenzie Mitchell backstage with Breezango. She asked them about the recent directive to Imperium from NXT UK champion Walter. They crack jokes on Walter and aren't worried about Imperium coming to get them, as they need to beat Imperium to make their way back to the NXT tag team titles. Okay, big whoop. We see Ted DiBiase Sr. walking backstage with 2 armed security guards. And then we come back from the commercial break. I've already discussed this. We actually do have a segment, though, before they go straight to Ted DiBiase. They have Triple H and the NXT General Manager William Regal with Poppy in the back. Triple H thanks for letting them use some of her music. He asks when her new album drops, the way the kids say it. I don't know why he would say that, but whatever. She presses a button and says, right now. And Triple H says, wow, you're telling me all you had to do is press a button on Spotify and that's it? And those 5 tracks from your album is on it? And she said, yep, that's it. And he says, man, technology is amazing, and he loves it. That's really all he says. And then Dexter Lumis shows up, walks up and presents Poppy with a drawing. She takes it and hugs him. And Indy Hartwell walks up, but she's hurt at the sight of Poppy and Lumis hugging Hartwell storms off crying, and Triple H calls that a little awkward. Yeah, the look on Dexter Lumis's face was a bit awkward, too. I mean, his eyes looked like they were bulging out of his head, like as if he did something wrong. The girl went ahead and said, behind his back, not knowing that he was a massage therapist, that she thought he was a loser and a fucking joke who can't talk or do anything but make drawings and shit like that, and he's a weirdo. And he's sitting there listening to that while he's massaging her, not without her knowing it, and he's walking off completely heartbroken by the comments she said, and she's not wondering why the hell he's doing what he's doing. And he's sitting there going, huh? Like, oh my God, you caught me red-handed, I'm so sorry. What? He shouldn't have been feeling bad about nothing. He looked like he was, like, feeling horrible that he hurt the girl. Why would he feel horrible? She hurt him by saying the things she said behind his back without her knowing that he was there. I mean, come on. That made no sense. That is one thing I will say they fucked up on. He should have just had a look on his face like, what does she want from me? You know? He was just like shocked that she was upset. Like, what the hell you think? What the hell you... Like, why would you feel bad? She just said a couple of weeks ago that you're a fucking weirdo. Not knowing you were there, too. I mean, come on. That was fucking dumb. I mean, the look on his face was great. I thought that was funny as hell. Like, you got me. You know? I mean, it was fucking retarded. The next thing was the Ted DiBiase segment, which I already went over. I'm not going to do that again. The Grizzled Young Veterans went up against August Gray and Akman Jero. I don't know who the fuck these guys are. They kicked the shit out of them, won the match, and walked away victorious. We had Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa come down to ringside with steel chairs. They take a seat to watch the match, but Gibson and Drake are distracted, and Gray tags in and unloads on both opponents. Gibson comes from behind, but Gray nails a jawbreaker, and they hit their tag team finisher, the Ticket to Mayhem, on Gray, and Gibson covers for the 1-2-3. After the match, Gibson and Drake stand tall as their music hits. They turn and stare down Ciampa and Thatcher as the music goes off. Okay. Gibson takes the mic and cuts a promo on Thatcher and Ciampa. They are here for MSK and the tag team titles, as they have already proven they are too good for Ciampa and Thatcher. Ciampa says they aren't getting a title shot until they face them in a Tornado tag match. Fuck the tags, let's just do Tornado. Complete utter chaos, and let's see who wins what at that point. I'm assuming after that match takes place, it also figures in on who gets the opportunity next to face for the tag team titles. So that's my assumption that they're going to go with after this match is over. So that's pretty much what took place on that. So Bobby Fish is backstage. He's training and hitting a heavy bag with punches and kicks. And he says that Oney Lorcan doesn't know who he messed with at this point, and this is not over, basically. It is mentioned that 2 weeks from now that Oney Lorcan and Bobby Fish will go one-on-one in a match, and that's pretty much all there was there on that segment with Bobby Fish. So Candice LeRae takes the mic and says she's tired of Poppy. Fans chant Poppy, and we love Poppy. And LeRae isn't happy with how Poppy hijacked her interview last week and stole Indy Hartwell's man this week, which she didn't seem to care, making her cry and leave the show tonight. LeRae calls Poppy out and gives her two options. Do it the easy way and apologize, or do it the hard way and receive a proper introduction to the parking lot. The lights go out, and then out comes Poppy And we get Io Shirai showing up. That's correct, folks. Poppy says, I'm not a wrestler, but I know someone who would be able to wrestle you. And out came Io Shirai, and we got that. So now Io Shirai is now officially back on the NXT roster still. She heads to the ring with Poppy right behind her. Shirai rushes the ring and unloads on LeRae. Then drops her on her face. She nails a 619 as fans cheer on. Shirai springboards in with the missile dropkick and then kips up as Candice rolls out of the ring. Shirai and Poppy celebrate as the music starts back up again, and LeRae stands on the stage with her title seething at that point. We get another update by Michael Hayes going over the entire match card and some of the updates that have took place on this pay-per-view, such as the ladder match between Cameron Grimes and Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. And that's pretty much all there was there. Dakota Kai versus Amber Moon. And of course, as expected, Amber Moon won this match, but by disqualification, with Raquel Gonzalez getting in the middle of the match, knocking her on her ass with a big boot, and sending her out to the floor for the disqualification. That's pretty much it. They did an attack segment after the match was over, and so on and so forth. And then we moved on to the last segment, which was the very last build that they could get out of the fatal five-way match for the NXT World Championship with Karrion Kross, Kyle O'Reilly, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and Adam Cole, baby. My thoughts on this. The way they ended this, they made it look like Adam Cole is going to become the next World Heavyweight Champion. But knowing full well how they have tried to make Karrion Kross such a dominant champion and a fucking ass kicker, basically a Roman Reigns version of the NXT brand, Karrion Kross ain't losing that title. That's all I have to say on that. I don't think Karrion Kross should ever lose the championship. I think they should do what Asuka did with Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross should stay champion all the way until they say it's time for him to move to the main roster so he can take his career and flush it down the toilet. Because I honestly think he moves on to the main roster, he ain't going to be doing much of anything. Adam Cole, same thing for him. My wish for him to win the World Championship is so that he wouldn't have to go to the main roster. But the thing is, this is all predetermined and all fixed matches. So, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good of a fucking wrestler he is. If they decide he ain't deemed to be the world champion again for NXT, and they want him to go to the fucking main roster, that's all there is to it. My hopes and dreams for Adam Cole are becoming bleak. They're not going to be lasting much longer. More than likely, he'll be joining Brett Baker, DMD, and we'll see those two together on AEW. If Adam Cole is released, let go, or doesn't amount to anything on the main roster because they don't deem him as a main event caliber wrestler, which I don't understand why. What, because of his height and his weight? What the fuck is wrong with you fucking people? You had Shawn Michaels, who was not exactly a very muscular guy. He was an, average, strong dude. He probably took the gym 4 or 5 times a week. That's about it. Maybe about 5 hours a day each time he got in a gym type of thing. I mean, the guy didn't look like he was in the gym on a consistent basis, killing himself, trying to look like a fucking powerhouse or anything. So, I don't understand what the concept is, and there's some wrestling fans that don't like Adam Cole for his size. The guy's got attitude. He's got charisma. And what he does, and he even said this to Karrion Kross, you got all the bells and whistles, all I gotta do is come in this ring, hit the bell, and that's all I have to do. My work is my words. My action is my words. I don't need to stand in the ring, do all this bullshit that you do, and to prove that I'm the best of the best. I just get in this ring and I show it. And he does. He is one of the greatest. I saw him in Ring of Honor in 2013, and I said, this guy is going to be something. This guy is an outstanding performer. Could you imagine him becoming a face? Doing what Daniel Bryan did? Maybe even being the guy to take the title off of Roman Reigns? After him being champion for a full-on year or more? I would love to see that. I don't know who in the hell wouldn't. Adam Cole is one of the best performers in wrestling today. Outside of Kenny Omega, Ricochet, I will give him credit in wrestling technique. He is better than Adam Cole. Finn Balor, I guess you could say they're evenly matched in that scenario. But, I mean, outside of a couple of names, he's one of the best. You got nothing going for yourselves on this fucking roster. And hell, I'd put him on a fucking Monday Night Raw, even though how crappy Raw looks. He would make it an improvement if they left his character alone, let him do his thing, and just put him in the main event scene eventually later on in the year if they push him over to the main roster at some point. I may even tune in to see what they do with Adam Cole. I don't have any high hopes for him, but I'd like to see if maybe they do something right with someone. It would be nice. Fucking Damian Priest. I haven't heard much about him in reviews off of JD and BC Amplified. So, I don't know, man. I really don't know. But it would be nice to see them do something with this guy because this guy could bring money to the table. The only way they can find out is let him do his thing. They won't. I'm not going to go ahead and go, oh God, he's going to Monday Night Raw, he's going to do great. No, I got to be out of my fucking mind to say something like that on this fucking channel. I know one thing, if I said that and actually meant it, you guys would be unsubscribing right now. I wouldn't blame you either, because that makes me sound like a fucking retard. But I would love to see him make an impact and improvement to Monday Night Raw. I just don't see that they're going to do the right thing by him, because they don't do the right thing by anything in this company. The only thing they do is Roman Reigns. It's the only thing that seems to matter to this fucking company. In which case, I can understand if there's people getting pissed off about it. I'm not getting pissed off. I like the way they got Roman Reigns, but I don't like the fact that everyone else around him, unless they're competing against him, suck. Let's list off the names, shall we? We had Cesaro just recently face him. What is he doing? He went backwards. I forgot. He faced Seth Rollins. He got his ass kicked 2 weeks ago. This is going to be the third week without him on TV if he doesn't show up. He is back in a rivalry with Seth Rollins. He had a great match with Roman Reigns, and we haven't seen him do anything since for 2 weeks. Do you think maybe 1 week off the show would have been good enough? No, they had to do it 2 weeks. To do what? Well, how are you going to build this up into a major match? It leaves you this week and next week, and that's it. Between Seth Rollins and Cesaro. And this whole thing is just a ridiculous concept of, oh, I feel upset because I was disrespected by being spinned around in a circle. Oh, God. Who the fuck gives a shit? Oh, God. I just don't understand some of the things this company does. And the only conclusion I can come from this is real simple. They don't give a shit. They're going to get rid of the company. They're going to wipe their hands clean of all responsibilities of it. And say, fuck it. And they'll get a chunk of fucking change. Walk away fucking as rich as they came into it. Get a couple of $1 billion. I'm guaranteeing you, after all the years of this company being around, and all the success that it still gets for doing practically nothing. Because fans want to continue to support this shit by watching it. 1.4 million. I really wonder how Raw did. Actually, since we're on here, let's go ahead and see what the Raw ratings were this past week. I want to see this. This ought to be interesting. Okay, folks, I'm getting this to load. Alright, so the Raw ratings are up compared to what they did Memorial Day. Let's see how far up did they go. Monday's live Raw episode featuring Alexa Playground segment with Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler as the main event drew 1.6 million viewers on the USA Network. That's pretty fucking unbelievable, and the show sucked. This is up 5.3% from last week's episode, being 1.557 million viewers for the Memorial Day episode, which was the second lowest viewership in the show's history. Oh, God. We do not have the hourly breakdown or the 18 to 49 key demographics. So the show was slightly up by 0.1. 0.1. That gave it a 5% increase. I'm just rounding it off to 5%. It was only 5.33, okay? That's shit. You had your second lowest Raw ratings in history, the second lowest rating ever in your fucking show's history, and you're only going up 5.33%. That's trash. That is fucking utter, unbelievable trash. I can imagine AEW Dynamite's episodes ratings are doing terrible because they're at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday night. Who the fuck would be watching Dynamite at 10 o'clock at night? I know I sure as hell wouldn't after I watched 2 hours of SmackDown. I mean, come on. And it's not their fault. It's not like they're producing bad stuff. I mean, AEW last week's Dynamite was really a good show. It's just the fucking time of it. 10 o'clock at night for 2 hours till 12? Who the fuck wants to sit and watch 4 hours of wrestling on a Friday night? I can figure out better things to do. You know, clean up around my house, go find a chick, go to a club, get some drinks, anything. I mean, wrestling doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all thing of everybody's life who's a wrestling fan, for God's sakes. It just makes us sound like we have no fucking lives outside of this crap. And I say crap because of the fact that most of it is garbage. What am I going to do? I'm a wrestling fan, I always will be, but I'm not going to live my life curiously through this shit. I would like to get involved in it someday, make it my own personal job. Not doing this. This is just a hobby. But if you guys start making it become something more than just a hobby for me, by all means, I'd love it. But hey, it is what it is. I'm just doing this for fun. I enjoy what I do here. You guys enjoy it? Terrific. So you know what to do. Hit that like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below on anything I had to say in this episode, and I'll definitely reach back out to you, as always. And I thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have a great night, guys. Bye.